Hi, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Thanks for joining me on TCM for day 3 of Summer Under the Stars. Each day in August, from dawn to dawn, is spent with the films of a different star. We began early this morning with the movies of a first-time honoree, Stella Stevens, who died earlier this year at 84. During the peak of her Hollywood career in the 1960s, Stevens emerged as a sex symbol right up there alongside Brigitte Bardot and Margaret and Raquel Welch. She worked with many of the top directors and actors of the decade, including the star of our first movie tonight, Elvis Presley. From Paramount in 1962, Girls, Girls, Girls. That title, Girls, 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 with an exclamation point at the end of each Girls, reminds me of a story illustrating the value of the rule of 3. I grew up in Washington, D.C. There was no baseball team in D.C. when I was a kid, so we'd go 40 miles north to Baltimore to see an Orioles game, an A's game at Memorial Stadium. When I was a little older and driving myself or going with friends, we were cheap, still are, and we'd find a parking spot in the neighborhood around the new ballpark at Camden Yards. Sometimes we'd end up parked near this gentleman's club. I think it was called the Club TikTok. We always noted the sign in neon lights on the club. Girls, Girls, it read. The lack of the third Girls was incredibly unsatisfying, as I suspect was the club itself. Anyway, back to our star of the day, Stella Stevens. In Girls, Girls, Girls 3, Elvis plays a fisherman trying to buy his own boat. In an effort to raise the money, he performs at a local nightclub where another singer, that's Stella Stevens, sets out to catch Elvis for herself. Born Estelle Caro Eggleston in Yazoo City, Mississippi, Stella Stevens dropped out of high school at 15, married a man named Herman Stevens. Their only son is Andrew Stevens, a successful and prolific producer, writer, and character actor. Stella and Herman divorced after a year and a half, and she returned to school with plans to become an obstetrician. Those plans changed when a performance at a college production of William Inge's Bus Stop earned her an invitation to audition in New York. By 1959, she was in Hollywood under a 3-year contract with 20th Century Fox. A year later, she won a Golden Globe as Most Promising Newcomer for her role in the Bing Crosby-Debbie Reynolds musical, Say One for Me. The same year, 1960, she appeared as Playmate of the Month in the January issue of Playboy. Here she is at the peak of her fame in 1962, opposite Elvis Presley in Girls, Girls, Girls. Hey there, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Welcome back to TCM and our Summer Under the Stars salute to the movies of Stella Stevens, who died in February at 84. Up next, Stevens returns alongside Rosalind Russell in a 1968 comedy, Where Angels Go, Trouble Follows. 2 years earlier, Columbia Pictures released the family comedy, The Trouble with Angels, a story about a group of high-spirited students at a Catholic girls' school and the strict nuns who try to keep them under control. The Trouble with Angels starred Haley Mills as the leader of the rebellious pack and Rosalind Russell as the Mother Superior. Russell returned to make this sequel, Where Angels Go, Trouble Follows. This time around, she meets her match in a young and more progressive nun, Sister George. That is Stella Stevens. Casting Stella Stevens as a nun was a deliberate move to play up the comedy in the picture. Earlier in the decade, Stevens famously appeared as a Playboy centerfold, and she remained a popular sex symbol in Hollywood throughout the 1960s. Stevens, though, maintained a degree of ambivalence about being seen that way. She was eager to prove herself as a legit actress. Occasionally, better roles did come along, including the 1961 jazz drama Too Late Blues, directed by John Cassavetes, and in 2 films she made in the early 1970s, Sam Peckinpah's The Ballad of Cable Hogue and the all-star disaster movie The Poseidon Adventure. Here she is in 1968, also with 22-year-old Susan St. James, as well as an impressive selection of entertainment veterans, including Mary Wicks, plus cameos from Milton Berle, Arthur Godfrey, and Van Johnson. Where Angels Go, Trouble Follows. Hi there, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Welcome back to TCM and more of our 24-hour marathon of movies with Stella Stevens, our featured actor since early this morning on Summer Under the Stars. Up next, one of her biggest hits made it the peak of her career from Columbia Pictures in 1966, The Silencers. Released at the height of James Bond fever, The Silencers is an adaptation of a 1962 novel by Donald Hamilton, who created his own super spy character, a U.S. government counterintelligence agent named Matt Helm. Between 1966 and 69, Columbia produced 4 Matt Helm movies, all of which starred one of the most popular entertainers of the era, Dean Martin. The Silencers is the first installment in the series. As the movie begins, Matt Helm is retired. He's living the good life, but he's lured back into action when an evil villain plans to drop an atomic bomb and trigger a nuclear war. Though that sounds like a James Bond movie, one of the first details you'll notice is that Matt Helm bears little resemblance to Bond. He shares far more in common with a character still 30 years away from making his big screen debut, Austin Powers. While the Matt Helm books were deadly serious, the movies are largely light and fun. Right from the start, the producers understood that trying to beat Bond at his own game was a fool's errand. Instead, they conceived the Helm pictures strictly as a Bond parody. In that vein, Rat Packer Dean Martin plays Helm with all the fun-loving, easygoing, wise-cracking charm that Martin was famous for. Movies also included characters modeled after the famous Bond girls, and throughout the series, those roles went to the likes of Anne Margaret and Elke Summer. Here, in the first film, Dean Martin's leading lady is our star of the day, Stella Stevens. Incidentally, this was 3 years after Stevens co-starred with Martin's former comedy partner, Jerry Lewis, in The Nutty Professor from 1963. This one is from Columbia in 1966, directed by Phil Carlson, also with Victor Buono, Arthur O'Connell, and Sid Charisse. The Silencers.